Good morning. Okay, I had to see if it was on. I wasn't sure. Yeah, this is so awesome. Sorry I haven't been in touch with anybody in so long. I lost my phone. I didn't actually lose it. I forgot it and left it in Josh's van or in his GMC. And so he went to California, and the GMC was at the airport, and nobody knew that my phone was there except me. And so I couldn't get a hold of anybody to let him know. So I had to go without. And um, it's funny how we can become so dependent on things, you know? Um, at first, I was really, really lost without my phone because I didn't have any music. Dude, I went from the 9th all the way until last night, which would have been the 17th, with no praise and worship music except what I could make on my drum. And um, none. Um, I went to church once, but it was kind of a really bad experience for me because I don't know. It was just weird. The people were suspicious, and they didn't have music that particular night because they were doing a church board meeting, and then when the church board meeting was over with, it was just uncomfortable, you know. So I got up and as soon as the service was over and just took off walking down the road. But the good thing about that was I met the most awesome couple. I was walking down the road and it was dark and I was just like, God, I walked all the way to town, and this is a really, really long walk. And didn't even make it to town, just made it to this church next to the little gas station. And it was like forever, dude. I have no idea how many miles it even is. But this is the furthest into the woods I've been since I've been on this journey. This gathering is deep in the Talladega National Forest. It's a very small gathering. It's been very, very taxing, to say the least. Ever since holding camp, there's been a lot of division, a lot of fighting, a lot of alcohol involved. The people have come, good people have come, I guess bad people have come. I don't know the difference. You know, there's none good, the Bible says. But they've came and they've been, ran off or just made so uncomfortable that they just left on their own. It's been really, really trying. But about 3 days ago, the atmosphere changed, and some brothers came in that I know from other gatherings, and some locals came in that are just so sweet and kind, and want to have a gathering of people in the woods just loving on each other. You know what I mean? And so we've had better times. People are actually coming together. At first they were threatening to tear up my camp and kick it over because they didn't really want me here, but they was using all kind of other excuses to do it. And now they're coming to my camp and eating. You know what I mean? The same folks. So I'm really pleased with the turnaround. The one leader of the kitchen that's here is called Wolf Camp, and Papa Wolf. Is really a good guy, and his wife is she's awesome. But they just are surrounded by people who like to, I guess, fight. I don't know. I just don't understand it. I don't know. I don't know. I love them guys. They're great, and I Papa Wolf has some back problems, and so he was walking and he let me pray for his back, and so that's good. People who don't claim to be Christians have watched me real closely during this entire experience to see how I would react to them, and I've by the grace of God, been able to hold it together and not, flip out on anybody and go crazy. I've distributed some Bibles, and I've done, just worked and and made trails and dug latrines and set up camp and helped do things. And other, I've worked, well with others, which is, me. That's not an easy thing sometimes. Look at me, dude. Look at this beard, man. Who knew I could do that? Who knew I could grow a beard? Wow. Kind of hot for an old guy, huh? Today I was reading, of course I always read in my Proverbs, and I've not had my phone, so I couldn't stay with my Bible app and keep up with my reading that I normally do. So I'm reading in the old-fashioned way, like old folks, with my glasses and my trusty handy-dandy study Bible. I love it. I do. It's one of the best gifts I've received on this journey. And in it, I was reading in Isaiah, and I just want to go back and just kind of come over some of the stuff that I read, because it's so awesome. I've read Isaiah 58 and 59, but I was in 58, and it was talking about fasting. And because I'm not a faster. I know people who fast, all the time, and I see God work in their life, you know what I mean, in ways that I don't always get to experience. And so I was just kind of praying about it. God, what's up with the fast? Why do I need to deny myself certain things to try to get close to you? And with this being the week of Lent, then it even brings on a more significant meaning, I guess, to the church. But I didn't get it. I just didn't get it. And so I was reading in Isaiah, I see that it says, well, I'll just read this whole chapter to you. In Isaiah 58, it says, "Cry aloud, spare not, lift up your voice like a trumpet. Tell my people their transgressions, and the house of Jacob their sins, yet they seek me daily, and delight to know my ways, as a nation that did righteousness and did not forsake the ordinance of their God. And they ask of me the ordinances of justice. They take delight in approaching God. Why have we fasted, they say, and you have not seen? Why are we afflicted? Have we afflicted our souls, and you have taken no notice?" And then the Lord kind of responds, and he says, "In fact, in the day of your fast you find pleasure and exploit all of your laborers. But indeed you fast for strife and debate, and to strike with the fist of wickedness. You will not fast as you do this day, to make your voice heard on high. Is it a fast that I have chosen, a day for a man to afflict his soul? Is it to bow down his head like a bulrush, and to spread out sackcloth and ashes? Would you call this a fast and an acceptable day to the Lord?" In verse 6, "Is this not the fast that I have chosen? To loose the bonds of wickedness, to undo the heavy burdens, to let the oppressed go free, and that you break every yoke. Is it not to share your bread with the hungry, and that you bring to your house the poor who are cast out? When you see the naked, that you cover him, and hide not yourself from your own flesh? Then your light shall break forth like the morning." Oh, I'm losing my light, speaking of the morning. "And your healing shall spring forth speedily." It's going to rain really hard, and so I'm losing my light, but I think it'll be okay. Okay, "and your righteousness shall go before you. The glory of the Lord shall be your guard, your rear guard. And then you shall call, and the Lord will answer. And you shall cry, and he will say, Here I am." So I understand that to fast means usually to deny yourself of something pleasurable like food, according to the teaching of the church. And I believe that, to fast is a good thing, I guess, and we should deny ourselves certain things sometimes, just so that we could rely on God to sustain us in those areas of our life. But I think that what the Lord really wants for us is to, when we fast from ourselves, is to be more aware of our brothers and the people around us, our sisters and our orphans and our widows. And in today's society, our single moms and our lone travelers, because it's not good for us to be alone. I've decided, and it's not good for us to be isolated. I read in Proverbs this morning that a man who isolates himself is seeking his own way, and really can claim whatever he wants to claim, but is just being greedy. And wanting to be selfish and do what he wants to do, and it doesn't, nothing else matters. So to fast maybe would be to reach out to that person and just love them anyway, because they're not easily loved, because I'm an isolator, you know what I mean? And sometimes I'm not easy to love. Sometimes I'm not even real easy to like. And so, you know, maybe I can understand that. You know, it says that we can see our faults in others easier than we can see them in ourselves. And so, you know, sometimes I see other people doing things that just really bother me. And when I stop and think about it, the reason it bothers me is because I know that I act that way, you know. And I don't want to be that way. I don't want to be that guy. I want to be the guy that helps you when you're broken or down or hungry, or, you know, if you need some clothes. I want to be the guy that helps you get clothes, and I want to be the guy that helps you find Jesus, because if you don't know who Jesus is, and if you're walking without him, anything else that you're walking with will fail you, and will leave you empty in the end. You know, I don't care what it is, if it's magic, if you're a pagan, if you're a Buddhist, if you're a Muslim, if you're practicing whatever type of religion you're practicing, if you've missed Jesus, you've missed everything, you know, everything. Jesus loves you. He's pursuing you right now. He wants a relationship with you. And he wants to graft you into his vine, basically. If you're not a Jew, and if you are Jewish in tradition, he wants you to be born again as well, like he told Nicodemus, and enter into the new life, because his life is so much better. If you can see behind me, you can see that the life he's given me, man, just look as I walk around, as I pan around. This is the way that I wake up every morning with bad hair and all of this behind me, all of this. Look at this. This is my yard, dude. I'm richer than Donald Trump. I am a joint heir with Jesus, and I am a son and a child of God, and even though it's not about all the things that I have, because I have everything, it's about who I know, because I know God, and I'm counted as a friend of God, and a brother of Jesus, and a son, and I have a family, and I'm loved, and that's all anybody could really want, you know what I mean? Just to be loved and accepted, and not judged, and not beat up, and, you know, not called bad names, and, you know, kicked around. Nobody wants to be treated bad, you know what I mean? Nobody does. Nobody wants to be treated bad. I don't care what the situation. And so, you know, when you fast, if you fast with food, or with the internet, or with your phone, or, you know, with your coffee, or just whatever you decide that you're going to deny yourself of, so that you can rely on God to replace that, or fill it up, or get closer to him, fast this. Fast on your greed. Fast on your greed. So whatever you've decided to give up for today to fast on, if you've decided to give up cigarettes, that's not a good example, but I'm going to use it anyway, because I don't smoke cigarettes. But if you decide to fast cigarettes for a day, if you smoke a pack a day, I know that you know somebody who smokes that really doesn't even have the money to afford to smoke, and they shouldn't smoke, but they do. you know, so do you. So you're going to fast your cigarettes. Rather than just fast your cigarettes, give them to the guy that don't have any. If you're going to fast your food for the day, you know how much food you eat a day? Take that portion of food and give it to somebody who doesn't have any. Or if you're going to fast from your internet service or from Facebook, um, maybe you know somebody who's got a phone that they don't have no minutes. So maybe you could go buy them a day's worth or a week's worth of minutes, however long you're fasting for. If you're fasting from your internet for a week, go buy them a week's worth of minutes on a prepaid card. You know, whenever we fast, let's fast for somebody, fast for to get closer to the Lord. But let's just try to use that for the good of somebody else. That's all I'm saying. You know, that's all I'm saying. Man, I love you. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for helping me live on mission. I know to some people it looks like I'm just camping and enjoying myself. Dude, if you could be with me, I do enjoy myself. I do. I have a great time most of the time. And I love to be out in the woods. But the night before last, I had tied to a tree. I'd been tied to the same tree with my hammock for, I don't know, 4 days. And in the middle of the night, not last night, but the night before last, the whole tree, one of these, the whole tree fell over and landed. Boom, I hit the ground and the tree hit me. Yeah, I know. And so, you know, thank you for supporting that I can live on mission. Know that I'm not out here just having fun and kicking it with the fellas and cooking hot dogs. You know, I'm out here because this is where the Lord has put me. I'm ministering to people who don't know Him, and I'm walking with a very, very small amount of people who do, and we're working together to further the gospel in our own backyard. Thank you so much for helping us, and thank you for just putting up with me, and thank you for following along, and I love you, and I just ask that the Lord would bless you as you're coming in, bless you as you're going out, that you would have all that you need, and that you and your family would be healthy and taken care of, and that you would love Him with all your heart, all your soul, all your strength, all your mind, and that you would love your neighbor as yourself, and that you would push back darkness by shining your light. Loving you guys, man. Bye.